Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu, Rich and Mike Wood here to take you through the big meeting at Royal Randwick this weekend. We've got the quaddy legs to get through, plenty of best bets. We've got the value bets as well. $100 hot seat later in the show. And Mike, welcoming in you. Mate, spring, the sun's in the air, and mate, Winks is running this weekend. It's a good day.
Yeah, it's a great day, and it could be her last day potentially in Sydney. A bit of controversial chat around that. Bit of chat on social media. Obviously, she's 7 years old, so you never know. Hopefully, she will come back to Sydney. Maybe one more run this preparation. A really good card. She's the first leg of the quaddie, and 4 Everest runners running as well.
Absolutely, and hasn't that market changed? And Redzel, well, he's there just to show his bruteness again this weekend. Looks a good thing. Trapeze artist Mike blown a little bit in the betting out to $6, so we've got all that to look forward to. And mate, it is all happening because it's the Cozzy. I mean, that finishes Thursday night. Go get the last tickets until that finishes. And Mike, the footy finals, they're on as well. Our teams aren't there though.
Yeah, great time of year. I've got my Cozzy tickets. We'd having a better time of year if our teams are in the footy finals. The Raiders and the Tigers, they aren't there, Stu, aren't they? So we're not so happy about that, but we're both on the South bandwagon. Go Greg Inglis. Yeah, looking forward to this Saturday. Let's get some winners.
Look, to do that, we need to get through these key factors. So take all the viewers through it before we get stuck into all the action.
Yeah, really important analysis. Obviously, we go top to bottom in this analysis. Progression, how your horse is going to improve on Saturday, including scope and stage of preparation. Distance at the stage of prep, not only distance, but is it suited at current level of fitness? Track conditions, we all know and love that one. A really hot day on Saturday, like Stu said. It should be a good dry round. We can position and run. If you're a speed mapper, you've got to get the right spot. Okay, well, let's get into it. The first leg of the quaddie this weekend. It is the Colgate Optic White Stakes. It is a Group 1. It is over the mile. It is weight for age. And Mike, $20 million. There's a few different ways to get there in life, whether it's through your salary or just a lucky day on the punt. Or you can just be an owner of Winks. What a marvel. Mate, I know your salary and I know you're not getting there. I know I'm not getting there either. Group 1, 1,600 metres, a fair tempo, a fantastic race to start off. This analysis is going to be simply a bunch of compliments for the champion daughter of Street Cry.
All right, well, let's get into it too. The first leg of the quaddie. And have a look at the market. I mean, these big bets, they always come in, Mike. We're waiting for the one this week, though. Winks holding solid there, $1.10, thank you. Right out to Unforgotten. Well, look, are we on for the place betting here? $11 there. Leramain, 12. Egg Tart, 19. Another good run. But, Mike, it's all about Winks, so let's have a look.
Let's have a look at her. Last year, there's so many replays we could have looked at. First up, she was absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe how good she was off that slowish tempo. Let's have a look at this race last year, though, and see what she can do over the Randwick 1,600 metres. There is Happy Clapper in front of her in the dark blue, who always hits the line like a train, but Winks hits the line hardest.
Yeah, one other horse does. And look, Mike, we're looking at Winks, obviously. Dominant, big margins, and just importantly, just Randwick.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more you can say, is there? She's such a beautiful horse. She was such a light, lean type in her early years. She's definitely strengthened up. She's almost getting better, and hopefully we'll see her in next year in an 8-year-old year.
It's too easy to watch. Let's have a look at the tramway now. A couple of competitors in this one, Mike. Egg Tart, little unlucky, obviously. And Leramain, how do we describe this run?
Yeah, we backed him, so disappointing, I think is the word. Hugh Bowman, I guess he could have been a bit more aggressive this day. He kind of went outside the leader, 3 wide, no cover, and just sat there. And maybe he just didn't ride him quite enough to quite get in the finish. Egg Tart inside on the red and green, absolutely no luck, Stu.
No luck. And look, running on here, like you'd suggest, next start, I want to be all over her. Maybe a place bet. There's different ways people are going to play this sort of race against Winks, isn't it?
Yeah, she won't beat Winks, but obviously she's come back really well.
All right, let's have a look now at all the key factors, Mike, because look, well, we know where Winks is, and look at that, but what about in behind?
Yeah, form, big gold bar in behind, some consistent types, some equal types, but they're a long way behind, Stu.
Okay, who is going to progress against Winks here?
Well, that's the problem. Winks has got more progression second up. She usually improves. Unforgotten, big scope and upside. She's untapped, isn't she? An Egg Tart second up. She can improve as well.
And, of course, the distance at stage of preparation.
Once again, the problem for these horses is there's no negatives for the champ. 1,600 metres second up. Thanks for coming. That's beautiful. Egg Tart. She should like it too.
Winks way out in front. What about track conditions? We should be getting back to a good track Saturday.
Yeah, they're all okay. They've got similar track condition form, so we can move through that one pretty quick.
All right. Well, position in run.
Yep, she once again gets a gold bar. Leramain box seat. It's somewhat outside the leader, but Winks gets gold, gold, gold.
Well, as we would all expect, Winks right out there, Mike. As I said, way punters have got to play this. It's all about Winks, yes, but look, there are other place punters out there. So is that the way we're going to go? Let's have a look at the odds here. Obviously, $1.10 Winks, take it or leave it. Egg Tart, we've got there a length, running for about a length in front of Leramain and Unforgotten.
Yeah, there's obviously some place bets. Is what we usually try and do in these races. Winks $1.10, 5 lengths. To be honest, $1.10 is absolutely value. and looking for him behind. We were hoping one stood out for a place. So we were hoping Le Romain maybe for a place. The 1,600 metres is definitely not perfect for him.
Okay.
Sometimes he can be a bit peaky at the end of that distance. So we're going to go for Winks. $1.10 is value, but obviously not many punters like those sort of odds. Egg Tart may be a place, but not huge confidence there.
All right, well, there's a look at the first leg of the quaddie. It's all about Winks. So let's have a look at the second leg now. It's the Darley T-Rose over the 1,400 metres. A Group 2 for the girls. And Mike, pure relation, she taught a few of these an absolute lesson in the Furious a fortnight ago at Randwick. But terrible news on Wednesday when we heard that she's out for the spring with a leg injury. I was thinking of you, mate. How did you react? She was your new pin-up girl.
Oh, I've ordered the poster, mate. It'll be on the wall in a couple of weeks' time. I've never yelled that loud at a racetrack like I did a couple of weeks ago when she won. I was looking forward to this race, but still looking forward to it. Lots of good fillies. Group 2, 1,400 metres. A bit less tempo this time. We didn't talk about the bias in the first race. It could be a bit off rails with the rail back to the true. Okay, well, let's have a look at the market now for the second leg of the quaddie, and this is looking wide open, Mike. Plenty of furious form in here. We've got Pretty in Pink heading the market at $6 a field. Eldorado Dreaming, really interesting to see this horse come back on the second line there, $6.50, and here is all this form from that race. Fiesta $6.50, Uhud, Miss Fabulous, Outback Barbie hasn't had too much luck this campaign, and Madame Rouge, an interesting runner from the Wally Yard straight out of midweek grade. Yeah, really interesting runner. We'll look at her soon. We've got a feast of furious form to look at. So many of these fillies, lots of Fs there, have come through this race, and you'll see they've really got similar form, which makes them really hard to pick through on. So let's have a look at this race and see how they did in the obvious lead-up. Fiesta on the inside, maybe slightly better ground this day. Miss Fabulous on the pace, Uhud running on like she does, and a couple running on from the back stew as well. Yeah, look, one of those is Outback Barbie, Mike. A few of the punters might be wanting to get involved again, but yeah, you have a look at all these and you think, well, they're all pretty good runs. Yeah, Fiesta we know has similar form to Outback Barbie before, and she had a better run this day, so maybe you line them up similarly. Obviously, first up was a couple of runners there. Pretty in Pink was first up. She peaked slightly late. Will the 1,400 metres suit? So many questions on Saturday, but one thing's for sure, they're similar quality fillies. They sure are. And look, one coming from completely outside that, as we said, is Madame Rouge, coming from the midweeks, Mike. So let's have a look here. This was a 1,200 metres at Canterbury against the older horses, and a really good run here, 3 wide the race. Yeah, she's a good-looking filly. Waller's taken her time. She's gone through the lower grade. She's under the radar, and she's pretty good. 3 wide, no cover. Early season 3-year-old, fighting them off too strong. The horse on the inside's a decent horse, and even though it had a much cheaper run, couldn't catch her. She's got big upside on Saturday. Yeah, nothing to chase there. Just kept going from the 200 metres. Really like that run. Let's have a look at all the form now, Mike. Obviously, this Furious Stakes is going to line up well, and then we'll get through all the key factors. Take it away. Yeah, Miss Fabulous probably got proven last start that she's not quite as good as them, but she's still short in the market. The rest, pretty similar, Stu. Okay, this was expected, Mike. The girls, they're a pretty tight bunch. What about the key factors? Progression? Yeah, probably most of them do have progression. Yep. Which ones have the most? Pretty in Pink, a lot of upside. Miss Fabulous, look, she hasn't had too many starts, so definitely upside. Madame Rouge, only 3 starts, I think, and 3 wide, no cover, and an easy win. She's definitely got upside. Okay, still not helping us too much there. What about the distance at Stage of Prep, up to the 1,400? Yeah, once again, not many of these fillies have been to 1,400 metres before, so we're kind of wondering which ones are going to like it. Uhud, we know the 1,400 metres she's proven. Madame Rouge, if you look at her conformation, you look at her stride in that last replay, he thinks she should absolutely lap it up. Mate, we are halfway through the race here and we've got a 5-way lead. What about track conditions? No help here. No, similar track condition form. We can move through the gears quickly again. And positioning run, does this help us? Looking for the gun run. Madame Rouge outside the leader. Eldorado Dreaming, she can jump better than most people think. But wow, that is a dead heat, Stu. Now, that is a dead heat in behind, and that's pretty much all the Furious Stakes form in behind there, Mike. So we've got the Canterbury midweeker, Madame Rouge, just edging ahead there. I know she was around that $10 mark, so let's have a look at all the odds again as we look at these ratings, Mike. As I say, there's all that Furious form right in behind, but Madame Rouge just sneaking ahead, and at $10, is that the way to go? Yeah, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's got to be the way to go. We are not confident at all. We don't know the win. I mean, Fatu could win Santa Catarina across from New Zealand, first time to 1,400 metres. She's always looked like 1,400 metres would suit. You can make a case for so many of these fillies, so if you've got a favourite, just back her and enjoy the ride. Yeah, why not? Madame Rouge, outside the leader, $10 each way. She's got to be the play. Okay, there's a look at the second leg of the quaddie this weekend at Royal Randwick. Stick around after the break. We'll wrap up the card and see you then. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. We're up to the third leg of the quaddie at Royal Randwick this weekend. It's the Kingston Town Stakes over the 2,000 metres. It's a Group 3 level, Mike, and
See the return here of Avilius. What a great couple of runs he's already had in Australia. Well found as well, by the way. And look, Libran hasn't won since this race last year, but I'll tell you what, it's been racing Group 1, Group 2, Group 3 company the whole way through, and some might say that was a career best run last start, rattling home.
Yeah, it looked pretty good out wide, didn't it? A pretty flashing light run, but maybe he was flattered. Some unlucky runners in behind. We'll have a look at that run later in the show, but he's definitely going well this preparation for Walla Libran. He's a great 2,000 metre horse too. Let's have a look at the way the race shapes up. The third leg of the quaddie, Group 3, 2,000 metres. Once again, not too much tempo, but there's a big field, so maybe a couple can go forward. Good dry conditions, and you'd think they'll be getting off rails by this stage of the day. All
right, let's have a look at the market now for the Kingston Town Stakes. And Avilius, well, as I said, since he's been in Australia, these two big wins, and the punters are just stacking on board here. Already $2.50 into $2.30 on Thursday. Sedanza, well, that was a great run fresh, $4.40 there. Libran, as I said, could be just in career best form, $6.50, third line of betting. Brimham Rocks is going to be so interesting to see the acceptances at Newcastle here with a few scratchings, potentially $8. I Am Serious, a little bit of money too, into $9.50. But Mike, the punters, Avilius, they like what they've seen. They're on again.
Yeah, so many replays you could look at. Real depth in this market. Even though we got a short price favourite, I think this race is on. Yep. I think almost anything could win it. Let's have a look at a couple of weeks ago at Libran, the horse we talked about before. He was good first up. He wound up really strongly late. This start well back to last, out wider, arguably in the worst ground, and he wound up really, really well against Waterhouse's horse Sedanza.
Yeah, I think you could have made a few excuses for a few out the back here this day, Mike, but got to love these runs. I was pretty taken by these two out wide, as you said, and especially Sedanza first up. Love the way it finished.
Yeah, she's such a tough horse. She always runs well. She's the definition of reliability. Obviously unforgotten, super impressive. Yeah. Ace high was wide, prized icon right there. The form's solid, but it's not brilliant form.
Okay, interesting, Mike. Well, let's have a look at Avilius now, because this horse was second up, 1,900 metres. Likes getting into a little bit of trouble, doesn't it? But just finished this race off really well, and there's some really good Epsom runs in here.
Yeah, there's two obvious Epsom runs. The first horse and the second horse may go back to 1,600 metres in a couple of weeks' time and go for that Group 1. Look, it's an interesting race. They're probably rated lower than the race we just saw, but obviously the margin to third gives you lots of promise. The thing about this race, though, it was a slow tempo once again, like it was first up for Avilius. We know he's an overseas horse with a turn of foot, but can he stay and can he surge over 2,000 metres? That's the big question I've got.
I like the questions you're asking. I think key factors can sort that out, Mike. Form and key factors, let's go.
Yeah, looking at the form of Avilius and I Am Serious, you saw them just then. At the weight, they definitely got a gold bar.
Okay, there's a 2 from that replay. Kicking things off, Mike, progression.
Yeah, plenty of progression into their preparations. Avilius has got upside, Sedan's a second up. Brimham Rocks for Walla, second prep. Lots of horses can improve.
More upside to Avilius. Wow. All right, distance at stage of prep.
Yeah, Libran up to 2,000 metres, definitely suited. I Am Serious. She looks like she's a bit of a stay, doesn't she? And Alward, second up 2,000 metres. He'll love that too.
Okay, and back onto a better track for Avilius.
Yeah, once again, nothing doing here. There's a couple off the page that definitely like a dry track, but out of the top few in the market, we're not giving any gold again.
All right, Mike, positioning run. Is this going to split us up? Okay, a bit of gold down the bottom here.
Yeah, there's a few with a nice spot. Alward just behind the pace, a perfect spot. Patrick Aaron. The thing about this race and the second leg of the quaddie is there's so many favourites drawn way out wide.
Okay, Mike, $2.30. I'm not seeing a 1 or 2 3-length there, win there to Avilius.
Nope.
Let's have a look now at these prices. I think you've got something sneaky coming up here. $2.30. Okay, equal top rater here. $9.50 in behind, Allward 17. There's some serious value here, and they're all together.
Yeah, this race is wide open for us. Avilius, slow tempo, big sprints both times. He was a bit peaky when he was overseas over 2,000 metres. He's got a wide barrier, big field. If they go hard from 700 metres out, I'm worried he's not going to win.
Okay.
Allwood's the one for us.
Right.
Great jockey, great barrier up to 2,000 metres. You remember he was wide last prep, I think. You're on him and he didn't quite win.
Sure was.
But you're also on the win at Emperor's Way, who's our value bet as well. They've got similar form and they're both great 2,000 metre horses.
All right, so a little set against the favourite there. We'll see if he appears in the quaddie though, Mike. Let's wrap it up now. It's the E-Group Security Handicap over the 1,200 metres. It's a benchmark 88. And the boys in blue looking to finish on a big note with Trekking and Marsupial in the race. But Mike, almost all this field are either first up or second up, and this has got to be a nightmare for those analysts that saw the fields on Wednesday.
Yeah, some people think this is a nightmare. I absolutely love it. I spent hours on this race and talking about Godolphin. James Cummings still flying, 2 winners to end the day on Wednesday. He's holding that 20% strike rate. Get on the blue bandwagon. Benchmark 88, 1,200 metres, fair tempo. There's a few that can go forward. It's pretty much an obvious speed map. with Noble Joey taking the lead.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the market for the Get Out Stakes on Saturday at Royal Randwick. And, well, there are the boys in blue. Trekking, $3.70. Marsupial there, $5. Iwase, $6. Single Bullet there. Loves to run a place, this horse, $8.50. Right or wrong, a little bit of money there too, $9. But, Mike, Trekking, Marsupial, they're the boys in blue. They think they're going to finish it off, the punters.
Yeah, the market likes those two, but there's a couple of form ratings to suggest that maybe this replay might be the way to go, but he's got a few convictions, this horse, doesn't he? This is Single Bullet, first up after being gelded, 1,100 metres at Rosehill, coming to the inside, definitely slightly lesser ground. He fights on pretty well, and we'll talk about the form reference to Zanzibar, the winner, in a second.
Yeah, look, he's a bit of a fighter, this horse, and I was just really keen to see how he'd come back as a gelding, and to me, still really sticking at his races, though.
Yeah, he's consistent, he's solid. I think he raced keenly in the blinkers last preparation. Yep. You can probably forgive that flop, and look, the thing is, the last 50 metres, he just does that, takes an awkward stride, peaks on his run, and that's why he's got one winner and about 10 placings, I think.
Okay, so we might be looking at the last few metres there in that race for him.
Definitely.
Let's have a look at these Godolphin runners now. We're talking about Marsupial and Trekking. This is from the Autumn Carnival, and, well, this really did end up to be a really good form race with I'm Excited coming out and winning a few after this one.
Yeah, a few smart form analysts were putting on social media straight after this race. The times were good, the ratings were good, and this would be a form race. And sometimes when you think the margins are so close, it's not going to be a good form reference, but they were right. I Am Excited, 2 listed wins after this. The 2 Godolphin horses right alongside. But the thing about it is that Zanzibar on the inside, and on weights and measures, the run of Single Bullet was better.
Okay, Mike. Well, that's what we need that's what we need to describe. As we have a look at all the form and key factors, you got to tell us why. Take us through it.
Well, there it is. On weights and measures, he gets the best form rating. He's not the best horse in the race, but he's got a low weight, doesn't he?
No, he sure does in this. Now, that's the form key factors, Mike. Let's kick it off.
Yeah, looking for progression. Marsupial first up. He is a fresh horse. Right or wrong, second up can improve. And Dissolution, underrated, big upside. He's a fighter.
Okay, Single Bullet just in front as we get to the halfway stage, Mike. Distance at stage of prep.
Yeah, nothing much doing here. Some questions on some of the horses over 1,200 metres. Single Bullet, like we said, he can peak late in these races.
It is the last. Looks like we've got a race on our hands here. Track conditions?
Yeah, Trekking, soft track last start. He may simply be a dry tracker. Back to a dry track. Could be a big plus for the Godolphin horse.
Okay, the favourite levels up. Single Bullet still right there. As we hit the line, Mike, position in run.
This is the golden bullet for Single Bullet. He's right behind the leaders. The apprentice jockey doesn't have to do any work. He gets an absolute peach for a run on Saturday.
The golden bullet for Single Bullet. All right, Mike, let's wrap this up now. We've seen Single Bullet just edge ahead there. We know he wasn't one of the favourites. That's left to Trekking and Marsupial. They're not too far behind here, Mike, but look, when we've got a length out in front here, $8.50, that's the win, but he doesn't win often.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the question mark we've got, isn't it? $8.50. So each way or place, obviously. Dissolution's just creeping up there. Right or wrong, definitely each way odds. And looking down the page, Sun Craze is one you don't want to put a pen through because first up on that soft track, maybe you can forgive. And ISO Rich Stew, I've got to give him a mention. He's off the page, but he's definitely got a chance if he likes to dry track on Saturday. Single Bullet, definitely a place. I think he's about $3. Just load up on that. He's the one for us each way if you like it. Disillusion, he's the underrated horse in the race. He beat Sambo last prep. All
right, good stats from you as always, Mike. There's a look at the quaddie. So let's wrap it up now. I mean, look, Winx is in it. It's always tough to play. Guessing she'll be one out there. It is, and wow, that's a really ballsy selection in the second.
We had to do something, didn't we? Race 6, a $1.10, a pretty much easy one out for the Waller mare. Race 7, maybe that Waller filly is a bit of a surprise at $10, but different form line. You've got to have a bit of edge in the quaddie, don't you? So we're going for value. Madame Rouge, $10 for us, which leaves you plenty of room to open the shoulders in race 8 and race 9 and put loads of horses in.
Yep, you mentioned it, edge. We've always got that in our quaddies, Mike. Now, the $100 hot seat came home really well last week with Zorkan, but I tell you what, that spot rating on Resin just missed a really big payout.
We were so happy with that analysis. Got lots of good feedback on that analysis, and if only Resin won at $26, we would have beaten the market for sure. Race 6, Murakeb coming back to Randwick. We've been waiting for him, haven't we? Race 7, Madame Rouge. We've got to have a bet done. After we've put one out in the quaddie, $10 each way in Allwood. He'll be right in the mix on Saturday, and $50 a place on Single Bullet. Yeah. If you think putting place bets are a bit soft, just give me a call at 5:15 on Saturday afternoon when he peaks on his run and comes third.
Oh, mate, there you go. Place betting all the way there in the last. Well, look, that's it for us from Key Factors. It's going to be a great day out there at Royal Randwick this weekend. Get out to the track, buy your Cosy tickets and cheer home the great mare Winx. That's all from us. We'll see you again next week.
Cheers. See you at the track.